What's up, guys? We're back again with a first time reaction to Tomi Lahrein. The name of this one is called Tomi Lahrein's Issue with Taylor Swift Hate. Tomi Lahrein is Fearless, which is a channel, but we're actually not reacting to the Taylor Swift hate. We're actually going to be reacting to the Tom MacDonald interview that she has right now, guys. So this one should be incredible, man. Obviously, Tom MacDonald gets a lot of hate, gets a lot of press from the media, so this one should be incredible. First time ever reacting to Tomi Lahrein. She's like a conservative, almost like Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, you know, one of these people. So conservative political commentator, you know, and she's obviously not, she has her own channel on a show called Outkick. Never heard of it before, guys. This one should be incredible. Drop a comment down below. Check out my Patreon for loads more videos. I also have a Rumble account, loads of stuff going on, guys. I got a ton coming for you all. But yeah, this one should be incredible, man. Tom MacDonald, my favorite rapper ever. The dude is an absolute legend, along with Adam Calhoun as well. The Brave too. Go check it out, one of the best albums ever. This one should be incredible. He also did a song with Ben Shapiro called Facts. I'm sure they're going to get into it now. Let's get it.
Thanks so much. All right, my next guest has torn up the music scene, disrupted the narrative, and ticked off the culture wardens who really don't want his message out there for the masses. His recent song featuring Ben Shapiro has dominated the charts, not only because the song is good, but the message is even better. Joining me now is rapper and songwriter Tom MacDonald.
Bro, of course they throw a nice ad in between that, but yeah, guys, I can't wait, man. Tom MacDonald's the G, man. He's the best. I hope she asks him good questions, though. Let's go.
Tom, I'm so excited to be able to talk to you. You're really tearing up the music scene. You've been doing this obviously for a while, but this latest song and the collaboration, the message that you sent, you got to tell me what it's been like these last few weeks, just to see the reaction, to see the outrage in parts of the music community to what you've been able to do.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure. If it wasn't for people like yourselves, we'd pretty much be getting all bad press. I think we got dragged by TMZ and dragged by Forbes and dragged by Billboard. And
yeah, everyone just hates them so much. I don't know why, guys. Like, they have political messages, but it's not that political. I mean, he has some offensive stuff, but like, it's no more offensive than like any of the rap music that I love and listen to as well. Not more offensive than that. Definitely not.
I mean, you know, it's been a wild ride, and like, I take everything in stride, and honestly, I think it's hilarious.
That's got to feel kind of good, though, when all these outlets are so upset at what you've done, because if you weren't moving the needle, they wouldn't care to trash you. They wouldn't care to come after you. It's got to be because of the impact that you've been able to have.
True, guys. The only one most important thing you realize, if you're trying to be on the internet, if nobody cares about you, then you should be worried, guys. If you're getting a lot of hate, just wait for the money to just pile in, guys, because as soon as you start getting hate, you get a lot of money. But it is weird. Like, if you have no hate, if you have nothing, then it's even worse, in my opinion, man. Honestly, even worse, way worse.
And was that maybe part of the whole concept behind this, is to maybe rub some people the wrong way, to ruffle feathers, to ignite some controversy? Was that in part of the calculus for this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was sort of the point. So I think when people ended up being so upset and bothered and triggered by it, I mean, that was the objective. Like, the music industry has been treating not only myself, but other artists as lesser than for years and years and years, taking advantage of dreamers and pushing the sort of mainstream, overproduced, wrapped in plastic, mass manufactured garbage for so long.
It's true, guys. If you sign to a record label, just know that you're not selling your soul, but it's very tough, because a lot of the political stuff will come from the top down, and you're not going to be able to say what you really want to say. You're not going to be able to be yourself, like, a lot of the times. Hopefully you have a label that lets you do that, but you probably won't.
We had an opportunity to sort of get a little bit of revenge on the industry and on the sort of performative wokeness, woke washed, you know, pop culture that's prevalent in today. So that was sort of the point, was just like, hey, let's put our middle fingers in their faces, and let's do something so big and so wild that they have no choice but to acknowledge it.
Were you surprised at the skill level of Ben Shapiro? Was that something that took you by surprise, or did you know that maybe he had that in him?
I was.
At some place in his core.
I mean, Ben is just a wildly talented dude, very smart. So, you know, if anybody could do it, it would be somebody like a Ben Shapiro. So, I mean, to be completely honest, I was prepared for the worst. I sent them the beat and was sort of waiting on pins and needles. I was worried what we were going to get back, if it was going to be even something that was releasable. But I was pleasantly surprised. Like, I think Ben stepped out of his comfort zone and into an arena that he's super unfamiliar with. And I think, like, Ben's contribution to the Facts video, his verse is more listenable than guys who have been doing it for their entire life in the mainstream. So I was
Damn, that's hilarious, bro.
pleasantly surprised with Ben's capabilities.
Let's talk about the mainstream, because, you know, I've seen countless people in the industry. I think most recently I was on with Piers Morgan Uncensored, and I heard several voices talking about how, you know, you're not really a part of the genre, and you can't really be part of the genre, and white people really can't be part of the genre. And this has kind of been the symphony of criticism that you've been getting, not just with this song, but with a lot of other work that you've done. So how do you respond to that? And what do you think the future is of the rap hip hop genre in and of itself with the way it's going now?
Well, I think everything eventually, whether it's rap or country or rock, everything's just becoming pop at this point.
Yeah.
Pop music is sort of just devouring everything. It's like this black hole that just takes all of these different genres and sucks them inside it and then spits out sort of a pop version of what it used to be. So,
damn, that's very powerful. I've never heard anybody actually say that so eloquently, guys, because honestly, or at least, you know, orate it that well, because honestly, guys, it feels like all music nowadays is like somewhat catered towards like pop and like being more mainstream, like Taylor Swift. You know, even when you hear like, not Kanye West, but even when you hear like some of the big rappers, you're like, God, that sounds very like constructed to like hit more people than usual. It's like, that would never sound like that 10 or 20 years ago. Like Wu-Tang Clan, that sound is gone. You know what I mean? The only sounds nowadays is like big time rappers. So it's crazy, guys.
you know, I think that, and there's so many people, genre clashes, and people that make multiple genres of music these days, that I think that it's all just going to become one amalgamation of everything eventually.
Yeah.
But as for, you know, people saying that I'm not part of hip hop and I'm not, but I mean, fine. I never wanted to be. I'm not knocking on the door asking you to let me in. I built my own house across the street, and I'm screaming out the windows and standing in the front yard, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's my house. It's my property.
Dude, I love that. I'm replaying that again. That's one of the most powerful things I've ever heard. So he's not asking to be part of hip hop, guys. He's demanding. He's saying, no, I'm part of it. I don't care. And here's the thing, guys, with my YouTube channel as well. I feel like that too. Like, I'm not trying to be part of nothing, guys. I'm trying to say, this is what I do. You can watch or you can leave. You know what I mean? Either support me or don't. Get out of here. And you need to, guys, be more independent. Quit waiting for these jobs, waiting for people, waiting for women, waiting for all these people to come to you. You go out there and you give them everything you got, guys. And whatever's going to happen is going to happen, guys. Honestly, I don't see this sort of thing waiting around. Oh, I want to be part of this. No, dude. Just create your own genre. Do your own thing. Tomi Lahrein is just, in my personal opinion, one of the best rappers ever. Just as I always say that, man. One of the best rappers of all time, hip-hop artist, for sure, guys. He's phenomenal, man.
Knocking on the door asking you to let me in. I built my own house across the street, and I'm screaming out the windows and standing in the front yard, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's my house. It's my property.
Yeah, let's do it.
So that's kind of like where I'm at, is I've never wanted to be part of anything. If I would be flattered if somebody accepted me into it and said, oh, this guy is a prominent figure in hip hop. But that's never been my goal. My goal has just been to, you know, scream my truth at the top of my lungs and speak for people that don't have a voice themselves. And I hope my message resonates with the other people who feel like they've been neglected and not allowed in the cool club.
Yeah. It's like blackballed, guys. You're not allowed to, you know, come into a certain area because certain people are gatekeepers. I don't have any gatekeepers. I got my own YouTube channel, my own camera, my own setup. I'm earning my own money, doing my own thing. Quit always trying to sign with people and do all this other stuff. Guys, I'm never going to be signed to anybody in Ireland. I'll just tell you guys that much. Never. Because they won't let me. They won't like me because I don't go along with the mainstream. I'm not this little beta boy that goes along with everything. I create my own goddamn lane.
Do you think that there's something inherently wrong with the message and the theme of most hip hop, most rap songs, especially in the last probably 5 to 10 years? Is there something that to its core you think is problematic? Or do you think that people need to stop blaming culture and stop blaming music for societal ills? Because there's kind of two schools of thought there and maybe somewhere in the middle, but curious to know your take if you were to give a diagnosis of, you know, this kind of entire genre as it sits today.
Good question.
Sure. I don't think it's a problem genre wide. I think that there's a lot of different sects inside of hip hop and a lot of people that make different types of music. There's conscious hip hop and gangster rap and all types of different stuff. But I think that the stuff that's in the mainstream is the most problematic. We know who the target demographic is, and it's, you know, 16 to 35-year-old American youth. We know who's digesting the messages, and when the messages are primarily guns and drugs and the glorification of violence and romanticizing of drug abuse and party culture and all this stuff, like, I mean, it's the target demographic is young and impressionable, and we're pumping them full of content that will erode their moral standard. I think that
for the most part, guys, I try and make like motivational stuff. I really want to help people on my YouTube channel, my Instagram. I help people. I'm a fitness coach. I do all these things. I actually want to make the world better. I think a lot of the times what he's saying is a lot of the other types of music make the world worse almost, guys. It's almost like a, you know, it's almost like just constantly just, you know, making everything seem glorification of violence, all this crazy stuff, making it seem good, where that's not really how you should be pushing things. Because I'm 28 years old. I can decipher between all this violent rap music, I like the sound of it, and actually what they're saying. Whereas a young kid doesn't understand that, guys. They can't break down that. They can't self-analyze. They're not good at that. So it's like very hard to, you know, distinguish for them what the music can bring to people. You know what I mean? Like, I use music for the gym mostly. I'll be honest with you. Whereas these kids might use it to go out and commit acts of violence.
I think there's a problem with that, and you know, it's not everywhere, but that tends to be sort of the prevalent theme in the mainstream music, which is why I've tried to kind of do the opposite of that. I was an impressionable youth at one time, and I was somebody that listened to that same music that I've been critical of, and that led me down a path where I valued material belongings and brand name clothes and fancy cars and stuff over everything in my life, and it led me to partying all the time and becoming an alcoholic and having a mental breakdown. And it, like, I'm not going to totally blame hip hop, but it was a big part of it. These were people that I looked up to, that I wanted to be like. So I lived like them, and it was super destructive to me.
Right.
That's a good point, guys, because like I know a lot of people here don't love music as much as I do. I'm like obsessed, guys. Since I was like 5 years old, you know, then again at like 7. I think I bought the G Unit album with Eminem, all of G Unit at like 12 or 11. And like that just completely just put me on like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever in the world. Did it ever skew me to the different areas? No, luckily. But if it did, that would have been bad, guys.
So yeah, I think it's definitely part of it, and that's a big reason why, you know, I don't want to make music that's going to have kids end up in the same place I ended up because of the stuff I was listening to. Damn. I want to empower people, inform people, and sort of do the opposite of what it seems like the mainstream is trying to do.
I like that.
I want to get your take on a couple of people, just because yesterday was obviously the Super Bowl and it's rich with culture. It was obviously unavoidable to see Taylor Swift. Talk about that in a moment. But obviously going pretty viral right now on social media is Ice Spice.
Ice Spice is the worst artist of all time, guys. I'll just put that out there.
Throwing up what looks like demonic symbols, wearing an upside down cross. It looked pretty purposeful. I know that there are a lot of people that read into conspiracy theories, and I don't really like to get into that too much, but it almost seemed overt to the point where it was unmistakable what she was doing. And, you know, her music and her videos and, you know, the way she carries herself is, you know, it's a little different anyway, but I'm sure you've seen it. What's your take on that? And do you think that has become almost acceptable, or is that counterculture, or what is that to, you know, kind of openly praise the devil if that is indeed what she was doing?
It was bizarre. I saw the clip, and I think that there's things that have happened over the years, like with Jay-Z and Beyonce and Rihanna at the Super Bowl last year, and then what we're sort of talking about with Ice Spice at the Super Bowl this year. There's a lot of times where people will jump down somebody's throat, an artist's throat, for making a hand sign or wearing a T-shirt or whatever the case may be. And I think sometimes it's totally blown out of proportion, and the person who's actually engaging in this situation has no idea what they're doing. But there are specific instances where that make me like raise my eyebrows, and I'm like, whoa, that's like super flagrant. Like I don't know how you would interpret this clip of Ice Spice. I don't know how you would interpret it as anything else. Like it's bizarre. Like I saw it sort of as it just initially started going viral on social media, and I saw it on my phone last night laying in bed, and I showed my girlfriend. I was like, yo, like this is crazy. Like, what do you think about this? So to me, like, I don't want to get too deep into the conspiracy theories either, but I do believe that there is some sort of satanic undertone presence, something weird going on in the music and in Hollywood. But
especially in Hollywood. Oh my God, there's some weird stuff going on there. Can't really talk about it here, guys, but you all know what I'm saying.
Especially in the music industry, I've seen enough of it over the years that I saw the Ice Spice thing and I was like, yo, like there's something going on there.
Right. Well, and also I was disappointed to see that next to Taylor Swift, because regardless if you like Taylor Swift or not, when you listen to her music and you look at her discography, I mean, her work is pretty PG. She's a pretty good role model as far as that goes. I know some people don't like her, but when you look at her and look at the way that she leads her life, it is admirable compared to a lot of others in the industry. I mean, she's kept it pretty clean. So to invite that into the suite and have somebody wearing an upside down cross, that disappointed me, because she is somebody who you'd think would keep better friends and wouldn't bring that kind of trash into her space. So
like, why was Ice Spice with Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, you didn't see Eminem with, let's say, I don't know, some, like, rant like Kanye West. Like, you just saw Eminem with, like, his team. Taylor Swift is not part of Ice Spice's team. Like, why would they be together? That's such an odd, togetherness. That's such a weird thing.
That also disappointed me a little bit. But, going back to just what you're doing and what you're going to do next to keep impacting this industry, the genre, what is next for you, and what message do you hope to send with your next song that's going to, I'm sure, do unbelievably well?
Yeah. Oh, it sure will. I think that song, Facts, has 20 million views now. It's a big song.
Well, I'm just going to keep, this is a very personal journey for me. There's a lot of people that have been sort of engaged in this culture war by proxy, because they have, certain beliefs or certain things going on in their life that makes them identify with this whole thing. And for me, it's been very personal. I've had very negative experiences with the music industry over the years. Just as an artist, my interaction with that whole business has been largely negative. And I just take everything day to day. So I'm just going to continue walking down this road. And, at this point, there's millions of people that are walking behind me, which I'm
one of them.
Never expected in a billion years. But it's happened, and I'm very grateful for it. And I think that a lot of those millions of people that are walking behind me feel like they don't have a voice and they don't have a platform. Even if they did have a voice, that nobody would listen to it. So I just want to continue speaking for the people that see the world the way that I do, and I want to keep speaking for the people that feel like that they never get heard. So that's where I'm going to keep going with this thing.
I love that, man. Tom MacDonald is a real guy, man. He's a real one. I love that, man. Much love to Tom MacDonald. Absolute legend, bro. And we're going to keep reacting to all his music, guys. I love it.
Yeah, the forgotten Americans, forgotten people. And you're bringing a voice to that, symbolically and quite literally. So we thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Congratulations on all the success. Obviously very well deserved. And keep doing what you're doing, because you're inspiring a lot of people with your message and with your success. So thank you for taking the time, and God bless you on your journey.
And God bless you as well, Tomi Lahrein, for being so beautiful. Absolute fire, guys. Let me know what you guys all think, man. Drop a comment down below. TM's the GOAT. I'll see you guys all in the next one, man. Peace.